I was kind of bullied all my life until I was 22. I was always proud of being half Korean. I remember always going with my MP3 to school. I was 14, 15 years old, listening to Epic High. And I would go to the school and it's, what are you listening? And I would be so proud, like, try to listen to this. This is gonna be the next big thing. My father passed away in a very specific time of my life. It was the day of my 18th birthday. And I remember his last words were, no, we knew each other,
But we
weren't friends.
yet.
We didn't meet even once.
Oh.
Because
When did you?
when I did the TV program, you know, also
yeah, when did you do
first,
the
and
Ozoan?
you were right away the guy who came after.
Right. Yeah. When did your Spain film air?
It was in 2018, May.
2018.
Yeah, I was the first one of the second season.
second
You were the second or the third?
No, I think I was third on the second
Third,
season.
yeah.
I think out of everyone on that TV show, you gained the most followers. You went from something like how many followers did you start and end with?
Oh, in 1 day, 1 or 2 days, I think I got about 50K.
50,000 followers.
Man, it was massive.
That's crazy.
It was a huge impact, I think, because that TV program made a great job with the first season.
Yeah, very good.
And after, when it was finished, it let everyone like, so what's next? And then they were preparing the second season. They changed the studio. They got a lot of investment. So they were trying to prepare something huge. So they contact me, and actually they wanted to prepare the second season starting with Spain. Because also Korean people are very interested in Spain as a tourism destination.
Yeah.
Spain, no, Spain.
Spain.
I know you always do the joke, but
In Spain,
in Spain,
That's true. I mean, a lot of Koreans, like, whenever we talk, like, if you say, like, oh, have you been to Spain or South Africa? They're like, where is South Africa?
yeah,
So that's
it's
why
in
you
the
were
south
first.
of Africa.
It's in the southern part of South America. But that's why you were on before me, I guess. Was they were going to countries where a lot of Koreans were familiar with, or maybe might have not traveled, but knew at least, right? Yeah, your episodes, I remember, man, 50,000, because after we met, you told me, like, oh, you got, like, that amount of followers. And then I thought, I got, like, 2,000. I expected it to be huge, but I think you must have been an outlier, because that kind of growth from that show, I don't think was normal. People didn't explode that much. What do you think was attributed? What was your popularity attributed to?
First, that
Must be your face card.
I don't know. Might be. I don't know.
I don't know if it's my face.
No, first I think that Korean originally have a lot of interest about Spain.
True.
They think it's a very friendly, and also my friends, they did a great job when they came to Korea. So they were like super friendly, funny, and lovely.
Yeah.
So the people felt very heartwarm. How is it called?
They 감동받았다. Like they
Yeah.
were, they felt it felt familiar and heartwarming.
Yes, and also it helped me a lot to open myself and try to show a different part of myself, because I was trying to connect internally, like my Spain culture with my Korean culture. You know, because being half Korean, it was still something that it wasn't too popular by that time, because you know that nowadays there are not many TV programs related to foreigners compared to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was still something very new,
Yeah.
finding a foreigner living in Korea,
Yeah.
trying to learn Korean, trying to learn the Korean culture. But nowadays, Korea became so international, so
Yeah.
it's not something new anymore.
It's not fresh at all or novel at all, no. Especially with the proliferation of more social media. Foreigners, I've seen university students have hundreds of thousands of followers just because they make funny reels. So
It is.
It's not really like that fresh anymore. But you are definitely, I think, still in the I think it was like Guillaume and then Andreas and Robin who I've also had on and in the second wave, and then you were like in that last part of the big wave on TV.
I was the last part.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because I I thought when I met you, you were famous before that, and then after we became friends, I realized, oh, the show really put you on the map. Because before that, what were you doing?
We start doing TV pretty much at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Just few weeks difference.
True. True.
Before that, I've been working as a model. You know, it's been already more than 13 years keeping the same job. It's kind of an interesting job because once you start, you really need to get in a market that it's so international, and it introduces you to many challenges, especially when you're younger and you get to meet all this variety of people in this interesting industry.
Like my sister.
Really?
You got to meet my sister.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna make a joke like something,
my
and I was
sister.
like, "What are you gonna say now?"
Is there something you're not telling me about meeting my sister?
No, yeah. Because of this job, I get to travel a lot. I was able to visit your country. Also, you set up for me to meet your sister, which was very nice. She treated me very nice, and it's a very interesting industry. There are many pros and cons, of course. It's hard that you have to keep always in shape. You have to be always like traveling, moving energy. Is it called like that? Like,
Yeah, no, but I like that. Yeah, moving energy. That's because it's exactly what you're doing. You know, when you got a job that demands you to be traveling like that all the time.
Before coming to Korea, I used to spend 3 months in each country, in many different countries. So it's hard sometimes because when you don't work, you don't get to earn any money. So you have to be always like try to keep yourself as a new face.
Yeah.
But it's mentally is a little bit exhausting.
Yeah, it's funny because you're like a next level kind of model. You're like a model. When I say that, I mean like, for me, I've done some modeling gigs, but I wouldn't call myself a model. Firstly, I'm only 180 centimeters. I'm not that tall. I don't think I'm particularly good looking. But then, you know, as a foreign face in Korea with a bit of TV exposure, you can do some modeling work. And I'm talking purely like where you're doing like really high level fashion type stuff, right? Like where it's about your look. Like I can be a bicycle model for sure because I ride a bicycle, you know. But I wouldn't say that I'm a model. But you, on the other hand, you're like legitimately a model. You're very tall, very good looking. You've got that niche down. So when we speak about like jobs, there's no way I would ever be able to have competed for a job that you're doing. That's why you were able to live in a country like you were before Korea. You were in Thailand, right?
Yes. I was in Thailand. I was in the States working for a while. I was in Italy too. I worked in Spain.
In Spain?
In Spain.
Where is it? F Spain?
Spain.
That one's gonna be the whole episode. Spain.
Spain.
Yeah.
A model guy from Spain.
Spain.
No, actually, I'm even though I'm tall, but I'm not the typical model because you know models are usually skinny. I'm kind of a big guy.
Yeah.
But it was good because somehow it put me in the niche of TV commercial model. So basically, you know, my portfolio, you've seen some of the jobs I've made are for TV commercials.
Right.
Which the good side is that it gave me the opportunity to work longer because most of the models that I know, they model for 1, 2, 3 years. They try it as an experience. And after that, it's really hard to keep it long term.
Oh, really?
So you really need to evolve.
So there's a short life cycle to being a model. Why? Because you get older or uglier, or the younger models just replace you.
Right. Or you don't end up fitting in the niche that you are portraying in the role or kind of model that you are portraying. So you need to evolve. Your image should evolve, and you have to be able to portray some other kind of stuff. Might be car, might be electronic, might be clothes, might be depend because there are models for everything.
Yeah.
But it's something that of course, it keeps evolving because of yourself and also because of the market. Because 13 years ago, it was easy to see a model for its kind of product.
Yeah.
And the commercials that you were shooting were coming on TV. Now, we've been seeing how the industry and the world has been changing.
Yeah.
People don't watch TV anymore.
No, well, I mean, yeah. I was just sitting here thinking right now. When was the last time I watched TV? Years.
Years.
It's either YouTube or I watch a movie or I'm on social media.
Right. So when a client is managing a marketing budget, before, of course, when they wanted to do a very aggressive strategy, they would put most of the budget on TV. Now it's not anymore like that. 13 years ago, there were no influencers.
Right. The influencers were celebrities. Tom Cruise is an influencer. Chris Hemsworth or Leonardo DiCaprio. Because I've thought about this recently as well. These are the people that influenced us through popular culture. The things we wear, we would see on in tabloids or magazines,
Right.
or on the TV. The things we would say, like our trending language would come from certain shows, right? And so now it can be just from your friend who is an influencer. Yeah.
It is. And we've been seeing how it also changed, not because of people not watching TV or companies handling more budget on influencers, but also, especially in Korea, you turn on TV or in YouTube, it's made by AI, man.
Yeah.
The models, of
Yeah.
course, you don't need to pay like for copyright or your buyouts for your image.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's only the companies that are actually compliant with the law that will buy out your image. But then some companies might just train their models sneakily on your image and never have to pay you.
You never know. You
Yeah.
never know. So it's of course not just modeling. Many other jobs are now on the stake. How is it? Is it said
At
like
stake.
that?
Yeah.
A stake. A stake.
A steak. Steakhouse.
I want the stake
It's at a steak.
in the stake. Okay. So on rigs, under pressure because you don't know how is it gonna change in another 3, 5, 6 months. So I still work as a model. It's nice. I also believe that it's something that it allows you to have a lot of free time. So it helped me to always have a plan B, C, D. So it allowed me to travel, to meet amazing people like you and many other friends that I have. So I am very grateful for this job.
I mean, yeah, you did. I think taking the direction you did with the TV show. I mean, it wasn't really like your plan was like, oh, I'm gonna do TV, but it's an opportunity that fell in your lap, right? And in the end, it turned out quite well. Because after that, do you feel like the direction you were taking changed a little bit? You did a little bit more TV.
Yeah, I did some TV. I was able to expand my job in different ways. I was able also to do some acting. I shot a Korean drama too.
Yeah.
It also helped me to experience this acting stuff. So it also helped me once I wanted to start a business to showcase how it would be like showcasing it, and it also helped me to show myself as Changmin, not as a model.
Just as a model.
When you're a model, unless you are a top model, your name is never important, and that's part of the business. But it helped me to develop this career as a person.
So you're just like a face as a model. How do you stand out? How do they just really look at you as like a face with the hair and a facial structure and then like, okay, which one is going to be the best fit for our brand for this specific shoot?
You are a product. You're a product. Because they might want the image that the production have for this is a guy with blue eyes and beard. And that's not me. So even though I'm Spanish, Spanish, I don't get to work in Spain because when I did some casting before, and I go there by myself, even though I'm Spanish, they say, no, you are in the Asian category. You are just a category.
Wow.
And when they ask for a guy 20 to 25 years old, I cannot apply it to those jobs anymore.
I guess because in Spain, the general demographic, if you're trying to appeal to the mass market, would be guys maybe that look more like me in Spain.
You would work so much as a model in there.
But that
You
was.
would do TV so well, like TV commercials so well in there. You've been practicing Spanish, I see.
Maybe people are gonna say, "What the fuck was that?" But it's crazy because that was 15 years ago. Now I wonder, with like the surge of just Korean content and the magnitude of which content from Korea has taken over the world, especially in Spanish-speaking countries. Now things must feel a little bit different. I think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I've no idea what I'm talking about. But do you think potentially now in Spain your appeal would be bigger?
Not for Spanish market, but yes for the K-wave interested people, which is a huge community that is still growing more and more. So not as a modeling for Spain, but yes for this kind of community that is getting
Are there any
wider.
famous Spanish Asians?
Spanish Asians.
Yeah,
Like in Spain.
in Spain, yeah.
Yes, there are some people doing TV or that they were doing some acting before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't think we have any like really famous Spanish South African Asians. But I mean, if you look at the rest of the world, definitely it's more and more common.
But yeah, of course, this also is been changing a lot because these Asian people, maybe 10, 15 years ago, they did some TV show, but they were just like the Asian Chinese character that they wanted to put for a certain show.
Yeah, the token Asian, yeah.
Right. Now, people is more into Korean stuff. So now I think if you go to, not just to the States, many other European countries, might be also in South Africa too, that you go and you see more Korean business showing up.
Man.
Because Korean people is looking for Korean stuff.
I just came back from South Africa 2 weeks ago, and we have a popular beach there called Boulders Beach. It's the penguin beach, where the penguins swim in the water while you're sunbathing, right? It's a magical place. Because I guess there are so many foreigners that go there, there is a Korean restaurant, but the restaurant is run by Korean, and even the sign is in Korean.
Oh.
So when we drove past, I was like, oh my God, this is a legit like Korean spot. So 20 years ago, I would have never even imagined that. But now, as we said, with the proliferation of K-food, K-content, K-music, K-pop drama, everything, it's even as far flung as in South Africa. And it's true because what I see is, before, like you said, a lot of Asian people in Western media, they would just be like the Asian character. But now I feel like they're not taking on the Asian character anymore. They're just a character, regardless of their ethnicity or their background. For example, is it Bridgerton? There's this actress from Korea now.
Really?
Yeah. She's one of the leads in the show, and she's not just like a typical Asian character. It's like a very well-formed, complex character, and so I think that's changing. Even with actors like Pedro Pascal, you know, you don't have to be Hollywood, sound like American, because a lot of what I hear is like, oh, you don't have an American accent, so you can't. Hollywood has changed.
It's changing. It's changing so much.
Unless you are auditioning for a character that's based in like 1960s New York, where you gotta talk like this, then you maybe you have to be American. But otherwise, if it's like a kind of like a ambiguous character where you're in space or whatever, it doesn't matter what language or what accent you have, as long as you can speak English and communicate and act well. Because people care less and less because of the globalization through social media.
Yes, accents are becoming a thing now. I remember also because I think 80 to 90% of the models from my generation, they all wanted to do the transition from modeling to acting. So many of them start just having some experience in front of the camera, and their goal are is pretty much the same. So of course I had also those thoughts in my mind. I wanted also to try, but by that time, even 13 years ago, it was hard because each person would be saying the same. Oh man, your Spanish accent is too strong.
Yeah.
I said, wait for 13 years, and it's still the same.
Give me some time, and it is still the same. But luckily, the industry has changed. Like now, we have people from like you have actors from Ireland, from Russia, from a lot of Spanish actors actually.
Right, but imagine that I look Asian, man. So it's like
People, it's a
an Asian
mindfuck.
guy when speaking English have an English Spanish accent.
He's from New York. Is this a sci-fi?
Which neighborhood?
True, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess you are very much of a unique case. Not unique case, but if you were to go into like full-on media, yeah, a Korean, half Korean, Spanish guy in Hollywood. But the thing is, I think people want novelty, as we said earlier. So, you know, sitcoms like Friends and those things, I don't think they would do as well now because people want that global feel, whether it be in Korea or
course.
in the States.
Of course, just watch One Piece, for example. Like, even though there were like they made it so international,
Yeah.
and somehow it feels good. Some people is why you change the ethnicity or
It's,
whatever.
older
but-
people mostly, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
or
I think
out of touch.
and it also helps the project to become more international.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I like these
strategically
projects.
always putting like Korean people or I don't know, just making international makes it feel good.
Yeah,
and
like EXO Kitty now is also very popular, and EXO Kitty have a very diverse cast, and not only diverse in appearance, but diverse in language and ethnicity. And I like that because a lot of Korean media is still very new. 10 years ago, you would not see a foreign actor in a Korean drama or movie, and if you did, it would be very small, and they would definitely speak English. But now we're seeing foreign actors from different countries speaking in Korean. And I think that's the Korean market starting to open up like the American market did, maybe a few decades ago.
Right.
And this is great. Great news for me. Great news for foreign actors who can speak Korean. So I'm happy to see that. I wish it did accelerate a little bit faster in Korea so that we can see more roles written for foreigners, be it in Korean or whatever. Because I have so many good ideas in my head that I think, wow, this would be fun to watch. But yeah, they're not being made yet, unfortunately. Yeah, but I mean, for you
might take some time or
true. But
might be
I'm
faster.
worried because what if I get old? What if I'm like 45 and then this thing hits and then I'm like, okay, I'm missing the boat on the like young, older 20s character. Right now, I can probably pull off older 20s, but when I'm 45, maybe I wouldn't be able to, But I guess it's not really a concern. I can't tell the future.
is a mix of opportunity plus preparation.
Yes, it's one of my favorite quotes. Yeah, but you said you're Spanish and Korean. Do you still feel like that's holding you back, or is it now becoming an advantage? Because when you were younger, it must have held you back for the jobs.
For what?
Being half Korean, half Spanish in Spain.
Well, for modeling, I found it easier for me to work in Southeast Asia
Okay.
because there is a very specific niche, and they like to use most of the times half Asians. Actually, the biggest jobs normally they put some specifications, and most of them are for half Asians. So
Really?
yeah. Once you go there,
specifically half Asian.
yeah, when you go, for example, to Thailand, there is when you go to all the production area, you see is this little Hollywood for Thai TV commercial industry,
Yeah.
and you see it full of half Asians, Brazilian, Japanese, Korean, German. And so when I went there for first time, it was really shocking for me because it was the first time for me to see half Asian people.
Yeah, beside yourself and your
Beside myself and my sister.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you know what? Now we have a lot of friends with have babies, and
Yes.
god damn, they're cute. It's like
Oh,
the
look at
best.
me, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
They are cute.
No, but maybe when you're younger, now just sexy. But it's crazy. Like it's like they get the best part of both genes and you smash it together. It's like when you take the burger from Five Guys Burger and the fries from McDonald's and the coleslaw from KFC and you smash it together. That's your meal. That's I think.
I know you do those stuff. But I don't do it. It's hard for me still to understand. And then you fry 2 eggs and then you put it there.
And then you don't eat it. It's like that's what it is. It forms this like the just the best part of everything to make something. I don't know. Just visually, I think have Korean babies or pretty good looking.
I mean, genetics have kind of a good sense of humor. You never know. Like,
I like
You
how
get
you're
to
waiting
know,
for me
like-
to laugh. Like
you get to see mixed stuff because I don't know. I think also Spanish people originally is very mixed too.
yeah.
And you never get to know. My sister, for example, she looks way more Korean than me,
Okay.
but I kind of look more Spanish. But I'm taller than my sister, or you never know. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's
Sometimes come out more Asian looking. Sometimes more.
it's
more-
like it's very random.
What about when you were younger?
When I was younger,
Like when you went to school, did the other kids knew you were not like Caucasian?
oh yes,
Okay.
yes. I think I'm pretty much in the middle.
Okay.
Because when I'm in Spain, people think I'm Asian.
Yeah.
And when I'm in Korea, they'll think I'm just European.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. And you're
And when I'm in Thailand, they think I'm local. Yeah, no joking, man.
and when you're in South Africa, they think, "What a fucking criminal." So, but your dad was the Korean, right?
Yes, my father.
Mom
Korean,
was
Spanish.
Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
How did they meet?
They met in the street.
Okay.
Why you look at me?
Why do you leave such a long pause?
In the street? No, my father went in the 80s to Spain because there was a boom for taekwondo by that time. So many Koreans left Korea and went to foreign countries to bring taekwondo. My father used to be a national team competitor.
Really?
Yes.
Bro, I knew he went there, but I didn't know he was into taekwondo. Really?
Yes, I think I told you
Well-
like 10 times, but maybe you don't listen to me. Now I'm kind
11th
of
time,
upset.
I will save it and watch the podcast episode. He was
Yes.
okay.
So my father was kind of, I think, yes, he was 24 years old when he went to Spain. He opened his taekwondo gym. And then he had like many Spanish students. And one of them had a bakery right next to his taekwondo gym. So he was walking there to buy some cakes. And then the owner was friend with my mother. So he was like, oh, who's this girl? And
Yeah.
then he asked the guy to make some sogeting.
Yeah, some
He
introduction.
ended up like hanging out. My mother was 17 by that time. My father was 24, 7 years difference.
Okay.
But I think, or I want to believe that he waited until
She was 18.
18. Yes.
I believe it.
Anyway, the end of the story is what matters. So.
Yeah. It's did he speak Spanish at that time?
Not really.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yes,
Yeah.
but enough for opening his business.
Yeah, and also enough to flirt with your mom apparently
Oh,
successfully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. And then your sister, how old is your Nuna?
My sister, 5 years older than me. I'm 34, so she is 39.
Yeah. Bro, my sister is 50.
Your sister is 50.
Yeah. I have 3 sisters. My eldest sister is 50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How old are your parents?
My dad is 70 and my mom my dad's 70 and my mom is 60 next year.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your father was 20 when he had you.
No, he was in his 30s already. My mom was 20 something. Young 20.
Wait. I'm so bad with math.
Yeah.
You can edit this part.
5, 7, carry the 4.
I'm doing, the hangover.
Yeah, the hangover.
math.
But
When the-
with you, it's just like ponies and sand and a monkey doing
monkey
this.
is doing this.
You're blessed with a nice face, so we don't have to worry about the math.
my intelligence level, right?
So your math side didn't come from your father
I'm
because he was
not-
the Asian, so you didn't get.
the Asian part. I didn't get that. You see, genetics are fun.
It came from the Spanish side. Ah, damn, yeah. I and your sister lives in Spain still, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I've spoken to her on a video call, but never met.
Yeah, she was your fan, man. You remember?
Why do you say was? Why are we using a past tense?
No, I think it's still now.
Okay.
It's still now. She enjoyed so much the Physical 100.
Yeah, that was a good show, man. That show really changed things for me. Also, I think my watershed moment, like you like also Welcome to Korea first time for you. For me, that was Physical 100. Even though
course,
I had done
man.
the movies like The Witch and The Tyrant, which are really big movies, like I didn't get the boost like I got from that show. And
Because the show was already so successful.
the
The
first
season
one.
1 was also huge. And even people in Spain was telling me, oh, have you watched this show? And I was like, no. The season 1.
Yeah.
Of course, I watched
Yeah.
season 2.
yeah,
I will skip the part with
it's not me.
when it's not you, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. And they say, "Oh, I know. Yeah, my friend was number 4. I'm sorry, number 4."
I say that so many times
Yeah,
around.
really.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's great to have that. I'm very thankful for that. But I'm kind of sad when I think about I did also, and I think you must have been so charming because the reaction for you was so massive, so overwhelming. Really, I remember you told me you even got like a bunch of like offers for like commercials and a bunch of stuff at that time.
Yeah, it was a big help for me. I was very lucky that the timing was good. It was a really great chance for me, and that I could start the second season, and that people was very interested in Spain. I'm very lucky.
And I really like Moon Sang-dong PD. He's such a great guy. Because I had Jonathan on as well, and Nadan did the Zombieverse that he also did.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You're the one who recommended Zombieverse to him for me to do. I remember. Yeah.
I have a beautiful friendship with him. I was
Yeah.
last week having dinner with him,
Yeah.
and his daughter and his son. They are really great. He's a great father. He's a great PD,
A great person.
a great person.
You know what I love about him? Even though he's very successful, he's so humble. He doesn't like pretend he's like this big hotshot PD. He's like a hyung, like just a really kind, humble, nice guy. When I text him, he will text back usually within like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know? I love that.
And always down to meet up.
Yeah. I really love that. Sometimes you meet, you have some famous friends, and they will text you like in 7 business days. Yeah. So, and I'm like, oh, you uploaded 14 stories on your Instagram, and still no reply to Justin. A little bit of irkship there, eh? Fucking hell. But yeah, no, he's a really great guy. I always am excited to see what kind of projects he brings out next, because he did that Mjölci camp also. I don't know what's happening next.
He's brilliant, man. When he came up with this idea for also 한국은 처음이지, he made the whole thing, even the name.
Yeah.
And now I was the other day talking with him, and I'm like, dude, you were 1 year younger than me when you made that.
And then he was this age now, is 33.
Yeah. I mean, he's 7 years older than me, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was like 8-9 years ago.
Right,
So
yeah.
when I met him for the first time, he was even younger than me.
Yeah.
And he was handling the whole production,
Yeah.
super cool, and handling the whole thing was crazy.
Yeah.
He would be like super cool with everyone, never angry, controlling everything. That's the way things
Isn't it
things
crazy?
should been done.
When I think about stuff like that, I think about like people that have achieved so much in their life before they hit 30. If you think about someone like Mark Zuckerberg, who created what he created, before he was even 29. someone like Heath Ledger, who did. When I think of Heath Ledger, I think of a Hyung, right? I think of like this Daebae, like a big actor. He died when he was, I think, he didn't even make 30. He died very young, right?
Not even 30, man?
Yeah, I think he died when he was.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and that's the scary part to me. What have I done? Okay, so yeah, he died 29, bro. So he didn't even hit 30, and he was able to do movies like The Dark Knight, obviously, a movie that I love, A Knight's Tale, 10 Things I Hate About Mary. He was just such a good actor, and you think about how were you able to achieve that? And I'm like 5 years older than what he was when he died, and I think like, what have I done? And it makes me feel like, okay, I need to work. You know, I need to work to build something, to achieve something, because people way younger than us have achieved so much more than we have not. What about you? What if,
Not?
Then we have not yet.
Ah,
Yeah. What have you? What do you want to build? What are you building?
Well, I'm in an episode of my life that I'm trying to diversify a little bit of all the things that I'm doing. Of course, I'm still working in my model career. And as I said before, it allows me to have the opportunity of being able to travel and to have a lot of free time. So I also have my business in Spain. I'm working now with Korean Cosmetics, as you know. We are importing and distributing, and it's also
Gotta plug it.
a great opportunity.
What's the name of the brand? We have to.
Ceramine.
Ceramine, yeah.
Ceramine.
Yeah.
And now we are taking care of the distribution in Europe.
Okay.
And it's also something new for me. I've been doing it for 3 years already, but it was a new challenge that it allowed me to learn many things and to start something different. And also now I'm doing my YouTube channel.
Yeah, you picked up your YouTube efforts quite vigorously recently, because you had like 500,000. You have how many followers? 100,000, 200,000?
I have 120,000.
But that was from long ago, and then you let it lie dead for 5 years.
For 7 years,
Yeah,
kind of, yes.
yeah.
But now I'm bringing it back. And now I'm doing it in a different way. Before, one of the reasons that I stopped doing it is because I still didn't have a direction. I think I was investing too much energy, and I wasn't really enjoying it. So it didn't feel like the moment for me, but it's never late to getting back to it. And now
Yeah.
I'm thankful because I have a team, I have a direction, I have a content. Now I know that when I do it in Spanish, people is really hungry. They are hungry to learn and to know more about Korea, and I'm lucky that I have those tools to bring to the people what they want to know.
You served both markets so well, because when you became really big in Korea, let's say 7 years ago, you gave Koreans information about Spain that they really wanted to know, and you were able to give it to them in Korean through a half Korean's eyes, which was really unique. And now the market has changed, and you can give Spanish people the information about Korea
Right.
that they want, and you can do it in Spanish.
Yes, and one of the missions that I have in my life is to connect these two cultures. Because since I was a kid, I actually suffered a lot of bullying because I was the only one different in my school. People didn't know anything about Korea about that time, as you know. But I was always so passionate about letting know to the people everything about Korea. And I have so many episodes in my life. I was always proud of being half Korean. And I remember always going with my MP3 to school. I was 14, 15 years old, listening to Epic High. And I would go to the school and it's, what are you listening? And I would be so proud, like, try to listen to this. This is going to be the next big thing. Or I remember it was Epic High, it was SG Wannabe, all this Korean music. And people would be like, some of them curious. Is it Chinese or is it Japanese or anything but Korean?
Yeah.
But I would be like constantly trying to show them this is going to be the next big thing. You should listen to it. Sometimes I would end up being bullied, but looking and seeing now how when I go to Spain, they are playing K-pop everywhere. Man, I feel so proud.
Yeah.
I feel so happy and
What
makes
did-
me want to do more, to show it more to the people.
What did they bully you for?
For being different, for being Asian.
Just for being Asian?
Even though I'm Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Because of the way you looked
yeah,
different.
because of the way I looked. So, yeah. But, of course, always be having the chance to talk about racism is good, because now I also want to use this platform to preach and to talk about how good is being able to share different cultures, and how good is being able to share. I mean, is all about sharing.
Yeah. Do you identify more as Spanish?
I mean, it's not about 50-50, 60-40. Of course, I was born in Spain, and until I was 22, everything that I knew was from Spain.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to know more about Korea, and the Korean culture was very alive in my house. So both parts feel as my own country and my own identity. There is, yeah, in that case, I would say 50-50. I love both places, but yeah.
How do you? How good was your Korean? Especially because if you were brought up in Spain, did you speak Korean at all, or oh, you didn't?
No, my father would speak in Korean only when he was angry.
Oh, really?
So he would scream things in Korean, so I knew, oh, yeah, he's
What did he
saying
scream? Can you remember?
this. Bad words. Sometimes bad words, or depending on the situation, when he was in a hurry, it's like, pali, pali, pali,
Yeah.
문 닫아, 앉아. Or
Yeah.
he would be like speaking random things in Korean. But as you also know, my father passed away in a very specific time of my life. It was the day of my 18th birthday. And I remember his last words were, Min, be responsible, because it was in a heart surgery. And it gave me a really huge influence. My father is a very big influence in my life and in my development as a man. Of course, my family from my father's side, they all spoke Korean. So by that time, we didn't have translating app, we didn't have ChatGPT, we didn't have all that we have now. We didn't even have Kakao. You were only able to talk like by phone. And a few years after he passed, we started having WhatsApp and all that. But still, after he passed, my family and we lost all communication. So somehow I felt the responsibility of having to connect with my father's culture. So
you were 17 or 18?
I was 18 years old. So I wanted to move to Korea. So I always had the ambition, how can I move to Korea? How can I learn my father's language? How can I connect with my family? So the first chance that I had was becoming a model. This was a tool. I never thought I want to be a model still now, but somehow it delayed on the time, and I'm still doing that. But it's not that something that it makes me feel proud, or like it makes me feel like I never thought even once, wow, I want to be a famous model, or I want to do a model. But it was the tool that allowed me to live the life that I wanted.
Yeah.
Which was traveling, which was learning languages, which was meeting people, and the final ambition, the last stop was learning my father's language and to connect with all my family. And looking back and being now able to do all that makes me feel really proud.
Proud. I'm also proud of you. Because you didn't speak Korean until you moved to Korea.
Yeah. It took me a while to learn Korean. I tried hard, and I had many beautiful episodes. Like I went, even though I couldn't speak Korean, but I would meet my family. I would be sitting in front of them, not being able to talk, but we would cry and hug each other. So
Wow.
that was also a very strong connection and a very big motivation for me to keep grinding and to keep learning his language.
Oh, well, okay. Again, something I didn't know. I didn't know that was your prime motivator to learn the language. It's
And
great
to move to Korea.
to Korea. So when you came here, you spoke just Spanish, and now because you didn't really speak English either.
No, I learned English in Thailand
Ah, yes, of course, yeah. Yeah, you have to.
because in the model industry, it's so international. So all the models are always traveling from different countries. So English is
Is a
no
must.
matter wherever you go, the modeling industry is all run in English.
Yeah. Yeah, you've come a really long way from that time. 18. But you weren't always this good looking either. I always say that I believe you're like the what do they call it? Is it the swan syndrome or the ugly duckling syndrome?
Yeah.
Where when you're younger, you're not attractive, and then so you're forced to develop a personality. You're forced to develop charm, and you create this lovely personality. And then when you get older, you become really attractive, and then you've already developed this other thing, so you don't even know that you're attractive. So you're just so much more charming.
I think yes, it's kind of the swan, the tail, the tail of the
Yeah.
ugly dog, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
felt like that because a little bit because I was kind of bullied all my life until I was 22.
Yeah.
So
Because you
I
were-
never imagined that I could work as a model.
Yeah.
It didn't fit in my mind.
Yeah.
The idea of working as a model.
Because not only were you look perceived as an other by being Asian, but you were quite overweight as well, right?
I was chubby all my life.
When you were young.
Yeah,
So it's
so
like
losing
double
weight and-
whammy for the bullying. They were just
Yeah,
had
it
so
was
many things.
double reason to
Yeah.
get bullied. So it felt weird for me that suddenly I lose weight and some photographers started contacting me, offering me to work as a model for them, and I was like, me?
Yeah.
And people then Facebook thing was starting coming out,
Yeah.
and I would post my pictures through the photographer,
Yeah.
and then agents started contacting me. Man, you look good. You should
Yeah.
work as a model. And it was like very me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit in my mind.
Yeah.
I think until I was like 22, no girl would try to tell me some like to try on me. How is it called?
Yeah,
Like,
to advance on you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it
To
was
kiss your mouth.
something you tried. No. But
It's true because I've walked with you in Apgujeong. You are the neck breaker. Every girl, it's me and you and Andreas, and we're walking. When you walk past, everyone like rips their head like this. It's like they're gonna get whiplash. It's insane. I've never.
You're exaggerating.
No, I've never seen reactions like that to a person. Not even like celebs. It's just like every single girl that we walk past. I was like, well, okay, I'm just gonna go sit in the cafe.
That was when I was in my good years.
in my prime.
In my prime. Now it's the fight. Now that I'm getting old, before for modeling, you end up like developing your little secrets to get in shape in a short time.
Mm-hmm.
And that I passed 33, 34 years old, it's becoming so hard
difficult,
for me
yeah.
to keep in shape. So
Yeah.
one of the bad things of modeling is that you have to be always ready.
Yeah.
If not, I've cried, man, for having a big project coming to me and not being in shape.
Really?
Yes, because sometimes I'm like I'm
Like
I'm
a bouncy ball, just a-
I'm very
Yeah.
bouncy. I go from 100 to 90 very easily, or from 100 to 85.
Yeah.
You know, it was very easy for me. But sometimes, really, what we were talking about, luck is a mix of preparation plus opportunity. So if I'm not prepared and the opportunity comes, of course, I cannot take it.
Yeah.
So imagine, especially when COVID happened, all that. in Korea especially, it was really hard. You couldn't go out. You would be always with your mask.
Yeah.
And by that time, I got so fat. You remember we
Yeah.
met by that time.
Yeah, yeah. But I never thought you were fat. I just thought you were like big.
Yeah, but not as for a model.
Yeah, for a model you were.
Because
yeah.
in front of camera, you always look like 2 or 3 times bigger. So
Yeah. Especially
that
my
determines for you to being able to pay the rent or not.
nose. True. Yeah. Well, not for me. For you.
Yes.
That's too bad. I mean, you bounce back. That's the good thing about you. You have this perseverance. You go sometimes you go into the depths, but you always reemerge. And
I try.
I think a lot of that.
You've seen many different stages of my life. That's
Yeah.
the good thing of our friendship, and we've been always there for each other. So
Yeah.
I think that's very meaningful.
How much of that do you attribute to like your immediate circle? You know, your loved ones, like the people that anchor you, like for your wife or your good friends or your sister. How much of that of you staying grounded and facing north do you think is because of the help from those people?
Was the question?
How much do you think of you re-emerging from the dark stages is because thanks to your
Yes. I believe that my circle of friends, my family, and my wife, they've been always believing in me. And sometimes, whenever I had to invest more time and more energy and a lot of stress and because sometimes it becomes very emotional when you are like getting ready in short time for a project, for a casting, for a job, for whatever. So sometimes you are too sensitive. Sometimes you need to sacrifice your social life. Sometimes you need people who understand and who supports you. And I found all that around me, and people that believed in me because I remember that after COVID, I was like, man, should I just give up modeling? You know, like most of the other models of my same age,
Yeah.
like try to go or to find a different job or something more stable. And of course, you can always do that while you still do modeling, but those friends and my wife were like, no, you can still do it. You have to keep going on. And I did it, and I was lucky that I could re-emerge and to turn around the situation.
Yeah, I think having a good support circle or a support system around you is the one that really allows us to also always persevere the difficult times. So are you going
Yeah,
back?
you did it a few times. I remember I would be like not wanting to go out or to do any sports, and you came and brought me out to
Let's
to
go
do,
run.
Let's go run.
You
and
fat
let's do-"
fuck.
Yeah, you did it, and you never know, but sometimes it works as a domino effect.
Yeah.
And you need that little push.
Yeah, that's all it is. I think the descent into madness is never one big cliff. It's always a staircase. We don't just like fall down. It's just one step at a time. And before we know, we are in this very deep, dark trench. And we're like, how did we get here? And it looks so far to the top to get back to the light. And you need somebody to just, punch you in the right direction to say, okay, we need to go back up there. Yeah, I'm very grateful that I met a friend like you, especially because you're Spanish, and I wanted to go to Spain for a very long time.
Well, we met in Spain
Yeah, exactly.
2 years ago. Well, almost 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2 years
almost
ago,
2 years
yeah.
ago. It
Man,
was really
Spain,
nice.
Man, Spain is so. I think when I think of South Africa, the way I feel when I'm in South Africa, that's how I felt in Spain. It's very, I don't know, it's a very interesting emotion or feeling. It's like a presence. When you go to South Africa, you feel everyone around you is so like willing to want to communicate with you. They they're very like laid back. They want to know, they don't want to know about you, but they enjoy your presence. It's very difficult to describe. It's like when you go watch a movie, everyone is there because they want to be there and they want you to be there. It's a very, very interesting feeling, and that's how I felt when I went to Spain. I felt like, oh, people are chill. They know how to enjoy the simple things in life. They know how to enjoy good food. They know how to enjoy family. They know how to enjoy good sunsets and good oceans and good beaches. And I think that's why everyone in the whole of Europe, when they think of where are we going, they say Spain, right?
All right.
I mean, they can go to South Africa because it's usually too far if you're like in Europe.
It's too far.
But that's
and
how
not well connected.
exactly, and that's how I felt when I went there. It's just why do you think that is with the Spanish people? What makes you guys like so? You give off that vibe.
I think Spain is big, and the north of Spain has a different charm. But from the middle to the south, people is super chill, super friendly, lovely, generous, and all the activities that involved in Spanish life are around socializing and to enjoying life and to not just to enjoy it, but just to live life. You don't live to work. You work to live, and you have to enjoy it while you do that. So, in Korea, you order a coffee. You need to get it quickly. It has to be fast. In Spain, and if it's not fast, you tell, oh, "좀 빨리 주세요," something like that.
Yeah.
But in Spain, you say 빨리 주세요 or try to hurry. First, the bartender is gonna be like, "What's wrong with you? Like,
Get the fuck
what
out of my
happened to
cafe.
you?" Yeah, something like that. You want it quick? Go to the cafe in
Starbucks.
front,
Yeah.
or something like that. Or just the fact of having brunch. We have a word for it's called sobremesa.
Sobremesa.
Sobremesa is the fact of spending time after you finish eating with family.
Oh, okay.
So you eat and you don't go somewhere else. You stay there and we chill around the table.
yeah. Okay.
That's called sobremesa.
You have a word for that.
Yes.
Sobremesa. Because we do the same. You finish eating and then you just relax. If it depending on the time of the day, you'll have a coffee or a wine. If it's evening, same in South Africa. But in Korea, it's icha or samcha or the next appointment.
Right, or if it's lunch, you go right away to eat. In Spain, usually from 2 to 5, people don't work.
Yes.
From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. You eat, you do sobremesa, and then you sleep and siesta.
Yeah,
That's another
sobremesa
Spanish
and
word.
siesta. This one I know very well. So wait, you siesta until 4, 5?
I don't know, you might do like from 20, 30, 40 minutes or 1 hour or 2. You never know. It's random.
Bro, I was in Mallorca and it was, I think it was 9 a.m. I was staying at my friend's house and his mom said, oh, some people are going to come to the house to do some remodeling stuff. And I'm like, okay. So they came at 10. They left at 12 because they have to go for lunch and sobremesa and siesta. And I went to the cafe maybe like 3 and I went and they're still there at the cafe. I'm like, these guys are not working today, or is it a half day? Maybe they finished early.
Welcome to Spain.
Yeah. And then they went back at 4 and then they left at 5. And then I asked, is this this is a full work day in Spain. Amazing. I was like, this is what we need in all countries. I mean, I don't think anything would get done. But in Korea, that would never work. Oh my God. Can you imagine some...
I mean, you can work hard, 5 or 6 days just to kind of rest one day, or you can work hard until 60, 70, then to start living life when you are old, or you can enjoy within your whole life.
Yes, true.
So it's a matter of culture.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how
different
much
kind of
the
mind.
person whose house is getting remodeled will enjoy. Sorry, this is just a one-day job. Why have you been here 5 weeks? Get the fuck out of my house. I can't take a shit without you guys here. It's crazy. No, but it's definitely one of the charms of the Spanish culture, I think.
It is. It's not better, it's just different. Because then, how are you gonna find a reward in achieving something or doing something great? You might not be able to do that with that philosophy in your personal life. But Korea, with the mindset of being a hard worker, they achieve amazing things. So as a nation, as a country. So
But at what cost? This is
at what cost?
it's such a conundrum because
It's a very personal question, I think.
yeah, do you? I mean, as a nation, I know why Koreans work so hard. Because you don't just get from being one of the poorest countries in the world to being one of the rich because you didn't work hard. There was a lot of sacrifice. I always lo-
Sacrifice is the word.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
I always love this story when I hear about Koreans who came together during the IMF and gave up their own gold from their house and smelted it together
That's
to pay off the debt.
debt. That's amazing.
That story from because I equate it to where I'm from, and it that will never happen, never ever. I cannot imagine. When I heard that story, I asked my friend, "Is this a joke? Like it was just like some story that." And it's true, and I was blown away. I was amazed that a country can do that, and I think that's where this hardworking ethic stems from. But at what cost? As you said, if you retire at 65 and you're like, "Where's my whole life gone?" Yes, I worked hard, but I didn't live any of it. Do I only start living now, or on the flip side, do I enjoy my life a lot, but I don't get to experience the lot of security that I get from working a good job?
I think it's a balance of sacrifice and happiness. I don't know. Some sacrifice. The meaning of of sacrifice. It's losing something or retaining something in order to get something greater in the future, or just for another people or for the next generation. So I think the sense of sacrifice also develops or changes depending on the place where you are, the influence that you have, or the ambition that you have.
Yeah.
And everything is a currency: your time, your energy, your money. And when you have to take all these little decisions, it handles and it changes the future. Might be your own future or your community or your country or anything. So we are always taking all these little decisions with our own life. We are sacrificing maybe, let's go McDonald's or to eat like anything, but we are sacrificing for our own health or for our look or for whatever reason, because we are trying to build something different in the future. So we are always doing those kind of sacrifices, and I think the conversation went in a total different direction. But I became I got a little bit philosophic.
No, I like it because I'm trying to think about just my own story, like how on a sacrifice to no sacrifice scale, what would I be willing to sacrifice?
Right, because you need to sacrifice. If you want to do something great in the future, you have to sacrifice the moment. Of course, you might not be enjoying doing a 3 or 4 hours workout.
Yeah.
I think nobody enjoys that.
Yeah.
But you have something in your mind that is fueling, so you kind of get to enjoy that time, or just because of the thing that is waiting for you. Right,
I feel a
the
sense
corner.
I don't know if sadness is the right word, but a profound sense of melancholy when I think about the road to the top. To be uber successful is extremely lonely. That's what they say. If you want to be like really the best at anything, it's lonely because you have to sacrifice so much. You sacrifice relationships, friends, family, love. You don't go to that party. You don't go. You don't sleep with that girl. You don't marry that woman. You don't support that friend. You don't go to that parent's funeral because you have this singular goal. So let's say yes, then you become one of the greatest movie directors ever, and you sacrificed all of that, or you sacrificed going to your children's soccer game. Is it worth it then? You became this like revered director that created masterpieces, and your legacy will live on. But is it worth it not going to your son's first piano recital, for example? I'm struggling with this, and that this is preventing me from aspiring to being the greatest I can be at that level. Now I'm thinking, I want to be great to this level, but I still want to do those things. I don't want to sacrifice to there because I feel like this seems valuable to me. I guess it is a personal question, and that makes me scared because then I ask myself, do you really want it bad enough? Do you really want to succeed bad enough if you're not willing to sacrifice certain things?
Right.
And it's this question that I sit with every day.
It depends on the final goal too, I guess,
Yeah, that's true. If you have a clearly defined goal, then you know how much you need to
accomplish it.
put
Because
in.
of course you need to be surrounded by people who is gonna respect that.
Yeah. And if you don't, you need
support
to
you.
cut them out
Yes.
immediately.
So you end up building your own community, but I think is a very personal thing. But the problem is judging, becoming a judge. That person shouldn't be doing that. Why?
Yeah.
Or that person should do this.
I try not to I don't know about you, but I try not to get too involved in other people's shit. So for example, I care about my close friends. If I see they're doing something, then I'll be like, bro, I don't know if this is the right path. I'll just give some advice. But other than that, I don't really get too involved, especially in people I don't know. Like it's such a waste of time
And
personally.
energy. Yes.
Yeah.
So I somehow, now that we get back to the thing that we were talking about sacrificing or just enjoying the moment or just going to the easy thing, we have a social responsibility in creating something that adds something to or the community or the future of next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy who is sacrificing to build this masterpiece, you never know, that masterpiece might be so inspiring for the next generation, or you never know. So
That's the
if
scary
you have
part.
that ambition to build something for the next generation, and then you even get to enjoy it and to feel a great reward inside, why not?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what
Yes, but he didn't go to his son's birthday. That's his
Yeah.
family. That's his situation.
That's what Stephen Pressfield, the writer of the War of Art book, he says. He's like 80, but he's not married at all. But he's written really great books, and he argues that the guides that he has given people in order to find their love for art again is his life's love. He never got married. He's 83. He's very sharp, very healthy. And so he knows that was a thing he chose not to do, and so it's not a question of regret. It's a question of being satisfied with what you have chosen. But that's so easy to say in retrospect when you've done it, but you haven't done it yet. You don't always know which path to take. So yeah. But I was thinking now again just the parallels between Spain and South Africa. Because I know in Barcelona, they're kicking out these the locals are very angry at all the foreigners or the tourists there.
Yeah, I heard so.
You're not too familiar with the.
I heard some news that they were like throwing water to the tourists, but I think that doesn't make sense.
Why?
Because they are bringing
Money.
money.
Yeah, this is what's happening in South Africa. Like, bro, when I went there now, it's like 50% German, all Germans. They're just Germans everywhere. It's German signs. I'm scared it goes too far. You know what happens when it goes too far. I was like, what's happening here in Cape Town? And I don't mind because I think it's good for the economy. But the problem is they're just pushing up the housing prices. So a lot of South Africans can't live in the areas anymore because you Europeans with your euro, it's too strong. And so I was searching and other cities that this is happening, and apparently Barcelona is one of the big ones.
Yes, now Spain is a very delicate situation, so we need to see how it's gonna develop.
You were not born in Madrid, right?
No, in Elche. Elche is a town in Alicante, southeast of Spain, inside the Valencian community.
You're from Valencia.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't you guys want independence really badly, right?
No. That's Barcelona. That's Catalonia.
Catalonia, right? Yeah. Okay, not Valencia. Okay. Catalonia, they're the ones. They even have the different flag, right?
And different language. Different language.
What
too.
language do they speak?
Catalan.
How different is Catalan to?
Totally different, man. Totally different.
What do you? They don't say Espain. They say Lespen or.
No. But they have totally like exit. In Spanish is salida, and then in Catalan is sortida, and then in Valencia is eixida, because we have another language also in Valencia. People really don't know much about Spain, but we have many languages in Spain.
Oh, really? No, it's not just Spanish.
Oh no!
So
we have so many other different languages.
How different is it? Like if you think about Korean versus the Korean they speak in Jeju, or if it's even more different to that.
I think more different.
So if you speak Spanish, you cannot speak
You,
Catalan.
you won't understand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you won't understand anything at all.
Okay, so it's a completely different language.
Yeah, but we have many other different languages.
What? But everyone can
different
speak
roots.
base as Spanish as a base.
You know, like in El País Vasco, in Basque Country,
Yeah.
they speak Euskera, which is way totally different language. That it doesn't come either from
The Latin language.
the Latin language.
What?
They don't know the roots of it. They don't know where does it come from.
Okay.
It's crazy. I know it's crazy.
I thought everyone in Spain just spoke Spanish.
No. It changed from depending on the area
The-
of Spain.
Is that like in South Africa? I mean, but in South Africa, there's a good reason for. I guess it's the same in Spain because in South Africa we have Xhosa, we have Zulu, Ndebele, we have Venda, Afrikaans, English. But that's because of the different tribes that migrated there, and also
Right.
because of colonialization. But what is this? Why with Spain? Why is that the situation?
Because of the history of Spain. Those languages were there from way before, from centuries ago. So they kept them because of the culture of how is it called? We call it patrimonio. Is it?
The patriarchy.
Yeah, no, patriarchy. No, it's part of the history of Spain.
Okay,
So we need to keep it.
interesting.
And I learned it from school. But man, I mean, I understand Valencia, and I think it's really nice and whatever. If I don't say that, probably some people would be really against me. But because of Valencian, I had to lose 1 year of my life, man, and I was so angry.
Boy.
I was so angry with the teacher because I didn't pass the exam of Valencia.
Yeah.
Yes, so he made me repeat the course. He made me how is
Redo
it
the
called?
course.
Redo the whole course,
But-
because of only Valencia.
But you have to redo your year.
But by that time, yes. Now it changed. Now you don't.
Wait,
but it
wait,
made
wait.
me lose 1 year of my life.
So you
man.
had to do school another year.
Yes.
No. So you were kept back a year because of that. No, really?
Because of Valencia.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Because of the language.
Yes.
How-
It was so unfair. I still remember the name of the teacher, Carles.
Carles, you son of a bitch, you.
Carles.
So how many years do you go to school in Spain? 12 years? Like the
I finished school at 18.
no,
at,
no,
like,
but how
high
many
school.
years total do you go? Do you have formal schooling?
That was high school.
But total from primary school to high school. We have 12. We have seven elementary grades and 5 high school grades.
I have 6 elementary grades, and then 4 high school,
Yeah.
and then before university 2.
Okay, so you have 12, the same.
Bachelor, we call it bachillerato.
Okay, and you have to do that.
Yes, I did that.
So you did.
That was when I,
So you did 12. So you did 13 years of formal schooling.
Yes.
Oh my God.
because of Valencia, because of that language. Now I think the system changed a lot, and now you don't waste your time. But yeah,
And you
it
don't
was
even
kind of-
speak it anymore.
I don't speak it anymore. I mean, I understand when I listen to it,
Yeah.
when I hear it, but I didn't have the need to speak it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I don't think anyone in Korea is gonna be speaking Valencian.
No.
You're just the Samgekuko, right? Just the 3 languages.
Well, plus Valencian it would be 4.
Okay.
because of course I speak it.
So 3.5.
3.5, 3.7, let's say.
I would have liked to see what you were like in school. Like I would have
It would
liked
be
to.
fun because we are same age.
Yeah, right.
It would be fun meeting there by that time. Man, I think you would be so naughty. You would be like, hey, let's burn something.
Let's burn the school down. Let's throw shit at the thing. There, I have one good story from when I was young. I was I wore an apron to school, but the apron had like large. It was like one of those novelty aprons where you wear it and it has like the penis on it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the painted
Yeah.
penis.
No,
or
it's like-
was a hole and you
Yeah.
put it your penis.
It's inflatable.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but it's like a joke costume. So I wore that to school.
Oh, nice.
It didn't go down well. I didn't have a good time. They called my mom. He is walking around with an inflatable penis.
Man, so fun.
My yeah,
I think
my,
you would be the kind of kid.
yeah, that is what happened when in high school. I was quite naughty. I had to work hard in order to get into university. In the end, it was a success, thanks
was
to
a
my
success.
mom's gray hair.
Oh, why?
Yeah. Because man, I gave her a hard time. I think it was hard for me to be her son.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because I was only child, or not only child. I had half sisters and step brothers, but my mom's only child. You only have the one sister, right?
Yes.
No other siblings,
No, as I know, no.
as I know. Yeah, maybe you have some other some junks running around.
I hope no, but well,
You're
would be
from
interesting.
you're Andongjang, right?
Uljin.
Uljin.
Uljin Changshi is a very small in Korea.
Have you met anyone else from there?
Yes. My cousin.
Sogu?
No. He's a different tongue.
Oh, he's not the same Jang.
No, he's not. He's not real cousin. I
Ah.
mean, he's like my cousin. We
Yeah.
grown up together.
Yeah.
But he's not like family cousin.
I see. Okay, well, bro, yeah, we have reached our
Time.
Yes, but
was
before we end, if you have watched my podcast, which I'm sure you have watched every episode from beginning to end, right?
Yes.
I always ask the guests to impart one part of wisdom on me.
What?
I ask my guests to give me one part of wisdom from their own personal life.
Oh, I think I gave you so many today.
You can give
cannot
me
tell
one extra, please. One tidbit.
if you
bonus.
love your friend,
Yeah,
you should give him
a kiss.
천만원. And he's sitting in front of you. 1,500만 원.
And then a kiss.
And then a kiss.
That one is for us. No, it's like every guest gives me like one piece. It doesn't even have to be personal to them.
Something wise, man. You should have told me about this before. No, I just would like to share if I have the chance to give a message to the people who is watching now is
No, it's to me.
to you.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have very deep conversations often, and I think you are a very open-minded person, and I think being open-minded is very important, but also open-hearted. So it's always having the chance to create new experiences and to accept people the way they are, and being always next to them is something very, very beautiful that helps a lot as part of your self-development. And I think you did it pretty well with me. I am very grateful for that part of your friendship, and I think it also stays the same way. But I also hope as a friend I can bring you that part, and even though we have separate ways, paths, because we will keep traveling and do our own stuff, that we can always find that middle ground where we can always spend time and have these kind of deep conversations, and being able, the same way you helped me in the past, so I can help you in the future. But you were always open-hearted to me. I don't know if there is this expression, but I think if people is watching this, being open-hearted and open-minded will help them also to have a more peaceful and more happy life.
Thank you. Open your heart, open your mind,
And
open your wallet, please. Some money,
I thought
please.
you were gonna say some other stuff.
No, that's good. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks,
And
brother.
what message would you like to give me?
Open your wallet, please. Nah, that's no, just never try too hard. Just that's what Yom told me. Don't try too hard. Just be
Who told you?
Yom.
Guillaume.
Yeah.
Don't try too hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
All right, bro. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you.